It would almost be the rule rather than the exception that young people I've seen who have survived a cardiac arrest have unique and under recognised, if you like, sort of reactions, because they kind of, I think maybe are somewhat frustrated perhaps by the reaction from everyone is, you must be the luckiest man or woman alive, you must be so grateful for what happened. Whereas in a lot of cases there's the why me, but also life changes quite dramatically, and any change in life, they talk about buying a new house or getting whatever as being these very stressful things. I don't know where they rate being dead for 5 minutes in that whole schema. I would have thought that it's more stressful than buying a new house.
I can vouch for that. Are there particular challenges in your experience facing survivors who are younger?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting that there's a whole host of things there, because there's some psychological factors, there's sometimes some very complex things, some elements of strangely guilt. Why have I survived? All of these questions that come up. But then some really just very particular things, like before, young people aren't all that well accommodated for in our medical system. I mean, our health system is actually a sickness system, where we don't aim to maintain best health. Our system sees people when they've become sick, and the majority of illness becomes more common as you become older, and so the health system as it is, strangely, provides more facilities for the older people than for the younger people. Whereas, some of the people who I see who have had a heart attack, who might have been extremely active or even athletes, they want to know when they can get back on the bike, when they can do all of these things. And our system doesn't really provide them with that information. It's not tailored toward the needs of the young person who needs to be back at work on Monday, who needs to think about life for the next 30 years and how they manage their relationships and their kids and it's just not well set up.
Is there a need for psychological follow-up, do you think, for younger people in a different way?
In a different way, yes. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, and it's not my expertise per se, but having said that, I've seen a number of young people who have had cardiac arrests and who have coped isn't the right word, but their reaction to what's happened to them has been, in some cases, difficult or even quite distressing. I can think of one person in particular who developed really profound anxiety / sort of sort of stress attacks, panic attacks, which required really some intervention and very specific intervention with psychologists and psychiatrists that could contextualise it within his framework.